Today we are back with a brand new video from the field of building and system technology, namely with our innovative and cutting-edge new MobileTrain. MobileTrain is a series of different training systems, and today our EV e-mobility Wallbox trainer is in focus. He has the ability to either stand or lie down, depending on your personal preferences and how you would like to carry out the tasks at hand. For video, we'll now lay down the device. On my side is our product expert, Lutz. Lutz, nice to have you here and support us.
Hello, Chris. Nice to shoot a video with you again.
I am in total agreement. Lutz, this is the device that you have recently developed and created. Before we delve into detail, as I mentioned, wallboxes are widely discussed, whether in Europe, North America, or elsewhere. In the context of electromobility, nearly everyone needs a wallbox, especially at home for charging electric vehicles. But please briefly explain why this topic is so important, especially for training in the field of building systems technology.
Yes, you just have to look at the news. You just have to look at where the energy transition is going, where the topic of smart home, smart building is going, the topic of electric vehicles, the number of electric vehicles is changing. Certainly, you also require the suitable charging infrastructure for that purpose. And with regards to the charging infrastructure, it is experiencing rapid growth, and there exist highly specific technical prerequisites. And presently, technicians must, of course, possess the capability to install and link the devices once, and also conduct regular inspections on them, because in Germany, individuals without professional training work on these devices or will subsequently loan their vehicles.
Correct.
Nothing should occur to them. They must handle it safely.
So the system must be completely secure. And can we implement all these points you just mentioned with this compact system? Yes.
That signifies we have the ability to learn the fundamentals from it, and we also have the opportunity to learn how to operate it. We can learn the safety regulations for that, so everything that must be observed.
We will provide more information on that later. However, prior to that, what do we actually observe here on the system? So what I, as a non-expert, recognize, we have our wallbox here. And on the left side, what do we have over there?
Yes, you as a layperson have described it almost well. On the one hand, we have our charging infrastructure set up and ready to use. The charging infrastructure in this case consists of a wallbox. Of course, you can also use a large charging station or similar things. Right away with the ready-made connection cable. So the cable for charging is also a part of the infrastructure for charging. I will put it aside here.
In the case of the Type 1 plug for North America, but of course any other plug or wallbox can also be installed.
Exactly. That means here you have to comply with the country-specific standards accordingly. So here we also adhere to the standards of SAE J1772, which simply prescribe the charging levels, connection requirements, and similar things.
So it would be perfect for the USA, that is, for the North American market.
Exactly. We have a model here that is specifically made for the North American market. You can already see this from the colors of the cables, from the sockets used. And I have already said, even the charging levels, that means you can see that here just by the size alone. Socket. That means we maintain level 2 here. Level 2 is the most common in the United States, which is accordingly found in the home sector of the country of America. The individual levels, level 1, 2, 3 used there, are also in the SAE J1772 given and described. There are set, and these standards are followed throughout the USA.
Wonderful.
Cease. At this very moment, we explicitly stated, all right, you inquired about the contents of this particular location. On one side is the charging infrastructure, and on the other side is essentially the installation of equipment further up the supply chain. That implies ultimately it can have a distinct look in each and every building, and in this case, the user must familiarize themselves with the previous installation before operating such a charging station or wallbox device.
Okay, I understand. That is. But here we really have a real wallbox from the market, from the respective markets now, where the system is supposed to be used. That is, this is not something self-built, but I could also buy it myself and use it at home. So a completely practical and real application.
Precisely. The user must also acquire knowledge of when he has finished his work. as he is doing it for a customer at the end of the process of completing his task. Then he also has to instruct the end customer. He has to hand it over to the end customer. And that's why the reason for us was also to use a real part from practice here, as it is really installed everywhere.
How would you react or answer the question now if someone says, okay, now there is, for example, a version of Autel in here, but what if the customer now has to deal with other brands, or also says, I not only have Autel now, but also have to use other brand names? How does that fit together with the device used for training?
This is relatively straightforward. This wall box in this particular case is securely screwed onto a mounting plate. And it is interchangeable. That means I can remove this wall box from the mounting plate and install a different brand, because the connection conditions are standardized in principle, allowing for easy substitution. So implementing the connection here is just the same. So we have our installation page, and we have the respective wall box that we can exchange as desired.
The device is then really flexible in a double sense because we can take it with us everywhere. That's hard with a regular wall box, unless you want to take the entire house. But we also have the flexibility to continue inside because we can install and use any standardized wall box for training here, so to speak. This is a cool thing. What else do we see? I see an Ethernet connection.